Live in 30 seconds.
Live in 30, we'll wait then. Tell us when you're on. You good? All right. We certainly appreciate everyone who's come tonight. This is the recess meeting for the Octavia Hall County Board of Supervisors. I want to thank everyone that's come tonight and thank everyone who is, of course, watching on social media tonight as well. We're going to go ahead and start this meeting off with a prayer. I'm going to ask if Supervisor Williams, he would start us off this evening with a prayer.
Let us pray. Our Father. Can I take this down? Thank you. Just want to follow protocol. Tell you I'm very honored to be here. The citizens of District 15 put their confidence in me. I think it was an excellent campaign with some fabulous candidates that were there. I'm just very humbled to be here. I come to y'all today just to, I know most of you to announce that I'm here. Ask for your guidance and your leadership as I go. It's my first time in this, so I've spoken with a Lieutenant Governor, and we're in the midst of trying to look at committee assignments and things of that nature. If anybody has any advice for me tonight, I'm all ears. I want you to tell me that. Any committees that you think I should request to be on, where I can better serve you, the supervisors here in Octavia County. Obviously, I'm from Octavia County, so I will be here to serve the entire district, but also being here local, I think I'll be more accessible. Y'all know where to find me over on Lynn Lane, so I already had some meetings with some people that have some issues that they're passionate about that I hope that I can play a role in solving or bettering. Obviously, universities and colleges is one of the committees that I've requested to be on for obvious reasons because of Mississippi State. They directly intertwine with the supervisors. So does anyone have any questions of me? Or any comments, any advice? That's greatly solicited.
Well, just take it as it comes would be my advice. And again, just do your very best.
Well, I appreciate that very much. Thank y'all for having me. It's an honor to be here. Thank you.
We certainly appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right, moving right along, we do have a presentation. I think we had a very good act that happened out in our county that involved several of our volunteer firemen. I was a fireman for 20 years, and I know what it takes day in and day out. You don't get the recognition a lot of times on the calls that you go to, but this right here was kind of going above and beyond. From what I've been told, that I think it saved a life. So at this time, I will have, I guess, Patrick Warner. He wants to present a little bit and tell us a little background about what happened that night, and then present us some presentations.
Good evening. My name is Patrick Warner. I'm the fire coordinator of Octavia County. It is my honor and privilege tonight to recognize the East Volunteer Fire Department. And if I could I get them to stand up and maybe come up here, maybe line us up down through here. To give you a little backdrop on what these gentlemen are being recognized tonight for, we received a call on August the 20th to a gunshot victim at Aspen Heights at 11 o'clock. These men showed up on scene, provided the patient care that was needed. The gentleman was shot in the leg. The bullet went through this leg and then this leg, hitting both arteries, and the gentleman was also shot in the back. These men behind us provided 4 tourniquets on the legs and saved this gentleman's life. And you just don't hear that much very often. That's a fantastic job. And I couldn't be more proud of this gentleman behind me. And tonight we kind of just want to recognize them for their going beyond the call of duty and providing the service that the citizens of Octavia County deserve.
They certainly do. Did you want to say something too, Michael? You may or may
Yeah,
not.
I just wanted to commend not only this group, the whole volunteer fire department. We couldn't do our job without these guys. You know, the fire departments in the county has changed. 20 years ago, it was majority fire suppression. Now it's moving to medical and trauma. And I think it's gonna continue to go that direction. So, you know, we've done the EMT classes, the EMR classes, and these guys are getting better every day. And they're seeing more. And we just couldn't do our job without it, not just for lifting assist, but the treatment that we get prior to our arrival, letting us know what's going on so we can activate certain, you know, STEMIs or trauma alerts or there's several different things that we would, you know, activate at the hospital just by them getting there and letting us know what's going on. So we really appreciate what they do for our community. Now, you know, there was a wreck, I guess it's been about 3 months ago, 2 young ladies were killed, and we flew 3 from the scene out on Old Westmore Road. You know, I don't know if you've ever watched, I think it's called EMS 911, some one of these live shows. That's what it reminded me of. Everything was organized, you know, it wasn't like it used to be where, you know, hey Bob, come help me here. Everything was organized, they followed the procedures, there was an instant commander. I mean, it was, I was proud to be a part of it. So, as far as OCH Regional Medical Center EMS, we're proud to have y'all as part of our family.
Amen.
Mr. Ball, would you come up here also, these gentlemen, you know, out there at East Volunteer Fire Department, they couldn't do it also without the facilities of Mr. Ball. He's been a fire chief, and he's got a great crew out there. Like I said, I couldn't be more proud of him. You know, I just want you up here also.
All right, come on. Gentlemen, we certainly appreciate what y'all did, so I'm gonna, of course, as you get your name called and come on up here, but this is a certificate of recognition that we as Ocklawaha County Supervisors present each of you, and first would be Tristan Jones with this certificate acknowledging the outstanding, excellent, superior performance and going beyond the call of duty. The bravery you showed on August the 20th, 2020 is a testimony to the heroism that symbolizes an Ocklawaha County firefighter. And on behalf of the Ocklawaha County Board of Supervisors, we certainly appreciate you, Mr. Jones. Thank you so much. As I call your name, come up. Austin Sherlock. Austin, thanks very much, sir. Mitch Graves. All right. We got Darren Weber. We've got Calvin Lim. We've got Ryan Stokes. We certainly appreciate everything that you do. And this moving forward, like I said, this is a token from us. We couldn't thank you enough. You know, this is a job. A lot of times it is somewhat thankless, but on behalf of the supervisors, myself, we're certainly glad to be able to present you this tonight. Thank you for everything that you do now and everything that you'll do into the future to protect this county. So we certainly appreciate you. Thank you. All right. Let these gentlemen make way. All right, at this time, we're going to have our citizens' comment period, where any citizen can come before the board for up to 3 minutes and address the board. You may come forward and do so.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Mr.
Turner. The next 2 weeks gonna be real interesting. We have 10 people running for president. That can confuse a lot of people. We also have number 65 to 65A and Mayor Warner. That's going to be real interesting. We have resolution number 47 and the flag, the referendum. All that can be interesting, but we will have to be careful, kind of tricky. And as the guy was saying about the accident on Old Westmore Road, the dead man Curry, can you see that before you're on it or not? And that just concerns us too.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Turner. Anyone else? Seeing there's no one else at this time, we'll go to the Longview Road, Lake Hill, Phillips Construction. Come on. Yes, sir.
How are y'all?
Doing good, sir. We appreciate you coming tonight.
Yeah, I know it's been an interesting topic.
Yeah.
I mainly just wanted to comment on behalf of our company. Most of y'all have probably heard of us before. We've been in business 74 years in the Golden Triangle area, but we were awarded Longview Road late last summer and moved in within 45 days or so of award and cleared the project to allow for all the utility relocations to take place. And I know that there's been a lot of people calling curious as to why there's been no activity on the road. So I just really wanted to be over here to clear our name. The last thing I want is for any of the citizens or the board to think that we're not responding to what our contract calls for. So we moved in, cleared the job last fall. The Fort County was supposed to have the power moved by the 1st of March. That was completed in July. AT&T was supposed to be working simultaneously with them, and they completed theirs in mid-September. So what that has forced us to do is to do a lot of dirt work and a lot of construction work that's not suitable to do in the winter, into the winter. And so basically I just want to give an updated schedule of where we're at, which is to try to move in and do as much work as we can this fall and winter with the drainage work outside of the roadway, and then follow that up as soon as the weather clears in 2021 with all of the roadway dirt work, seeing that we have to maintain traffic the entire time that construction's underway. So I'm certainly willing to field any questions regarding that, but that's pretty much all I had, was just kind of wanting to clear our name a little bit.
Anything? Well, and that is fair. You know, with this COVID, the cable especially,
Sure,
you know, was the thing that held us everyone back. And I appreciate you explaining what you're going to do this fall and this winter, moving into the spring. You know, as far as maybe the culverts that are now, you know, the old culverts, and move those back.
Mm-hmm.
Any cross drains that you can do, anything that you can do to make it to where it will drain better.
right.
You know, we wanted to get this project, you know, done this year. We all did.
We did too.
You know, that's right. We all did, but we didn't foresee what hit us come March, you know, middle of March with the COVID. And that cable was, quite honestly, I think what held it all back. You know, there was none from what we were hearing before the middle of September, when they laid it in a timely, you know, order. You know, are you going to be able to, through this winter, keep that? Because sometimes last year it got pretty bad on our end, because you were doing some work in the late fall last year. You think you can keep those ditches, the drainage somewhat?
Yeah, we'll
for your
try to,
benefit,
I mean,
too?
obviously, we'll try to do whatever we can to make sure everything's draining. We were the same way y'all were. I mean, we bid the job in hopes that we knew we would have to do some clearing to move the utilities last year. All that was kind of according to plan. Our hope and our backlog was to start the job in April or May of this year and be finishing up right now.
Yeah.
But our plan is to be over there as much as we can. I mean, we got to have enough work to justify being there, so it might be sporadic in and out around the weather, but we're going to try to do our best to stay out of the roadway to avoid messing up the roadway for traffic, you know, when the rainy season hits.
Can you, before it does get wet though, can you try to get in there and get, and maybe this is what you're considering in the roadway, but could you move those old culverts back, because
we can move certain ones back. I'm actually in the process now of developing a plan of what really even can be done, because a lot of where those culverts move back, until you cut the new ditches, if you move the culvert back and abandon the old one, then the water has nowhere to go, because they will be all set and just buried in a hole, essentially.
well, I guess that's what I was saying, is maybe go through there now with this dry weather, doing the culverts, and there's the ones that you can come to this Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, whatever.
Yeah.
Do those, set them back where the existing ones will be, or is that putting the cart before the horse now, you know what I mean?
I don't think so all the way. I think we will still be limited as to what we can do because of so much of what this job is to cut new ditches and build the roadway up. And so you
may not.
It's kind of a job. It's hard to understand unless you do it every day, but it's kind of one of these jobs that you need to start and do the whole thing at one time. Now, we are going to do what we can. I don't want to commit to any one thing or the other, but we will do what we can to make it as best as possible for the county.
What end are you gonna start on?
We're planning on starting on the west end. We actually went out there last week and cut some more trees down to allow that fence and the curb on the very west end to go ahead and be relocated. It couldn't be moved until the phone lines were moved. So now that it's moved, we went out there last week and took some more trees out, and that part's done. So we're hoping to be able to work through there with the upgrading the drainage. That's where a lot of your drainage upgrades are, is for all those driveways and different things like that.
One of the things, just like the potholes in the road right now that it's under contract and that kind of stuff, how do we need to address that? Are y'all gonna address that, or are you gonna let the county come in and grade it, or?
As far as, I don't know, I mean, as far as maintenance goes, I would say that because of the fact that we have been restricted on being able to work, we really haven't messed the road up or ill-maintained the road per se. But I mean, I'm not opposed to trying to do something to help, but I don't really feel responsible that we should have to babysit the road when we have been able to do very limited work, especially the time of the year and the amount of traffic.
Are all of the utilities moved so y'all can start now?
No, the water's not moved, and from what I'm understanding, the water's not going to be moved. We're just going to have to work around it, is what I'm being told. Not all of the water. Some of the water's been moved, but there's...
What portion of the water? I've not heard that.
The city of Starkville has moved their water. There is another water company that John Weaver told me today that has been marked and appears to be mostly out of the way, but it's, from what I was told, it was pretty much going to be a deal that they thought we weren't going to hit it, and if we did, they'd come fix it. But they didn't really have the means.
What you don't know what provider that is, because I've not.
I can find out.
I've not heard that at all.
Yeah, I can find
Is that on the west end?
Yeah, it's in the middle. I think it's around the Bluefield area.
That'd be the city of Starkville.
Well, it may be moved by now. I'm just telling you what I've been told. You know, I've been checking on the utilities constantly because our main goal was to get this job done this year. I mean, we needed it done. We needed it for our backlog, you know. Yeah. But it is what it is. I mean, I'm not complaining. I'm not asking for anything. The main thing I wanted to do was for everybody to understand going forward in the future that we're not avoiding and have not been avoiding coming over here and building this job.
And that has been some of the stuff we've been told you could have started on the other end.
Yeah. And
so, you know, that's what I was asking, what end you are starting on, and have all the utilities been moved?
Yeah, well, they have now, and that, I'm not going to say that you couldn't start at any place you want to in the job, but considering that this whole job is designed to be built using dirt derived on site, there are areas where you have only cuts and areas where you have only fills, and so you can only do so much in one area before you have to take that dirt to another area of the job and work. And so if that area is restricted, well, and you have nowhere to take the dirt, then all you're doing is creating piles to then come back later and move, and that's not cost efficient in any means.
Well,
so I just wanted to clear the air a little bit with us, you know, as far as I do want y'all to understand that we're not happy with the way that it's taking place either.
Thank you.
Are y'all good if we, my understanding is while we're under contract, county forces can't go in there and do maintenance or fix potholes. there are a couple of potholes on that road that if someone goes through there, I'm afraid somebody's gonna get hurt.
Mhm.
And from a safety standpoint, y'all don't have a problem if we send county forces in there for that purpose?
We do not.
Okay.
And we have equipment in there right now, so I mean, like I said, if we're there, we're more than willing to help. I mean, but,
Yeah, I mean, just a combination, we need to keep it.
yeah, we're more than fine with y'all being through there.
Well, the better we keep that road through the winter, the quicker it will dry up come spring, sooner you can get
Yeah,
started.
and anytime anybody has a question, I'll leave a few cards here. I'm more than willing to field calls, emails, whatever. So,
Man, just give them to me and I'll spread them out. I appreciate you.
all right, is that it?
That's it.
Thank y'all.
We thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Moving right along to the Octok Road cleanup, Ms. Patterson. Let's go. Or just stand right there if you'd like.
My name's Jerry Patterson. I live at 265 East Lakeshore Drive. Mr. Williams, we've spoken on the phone before. He's my representative. I would really like the road cleaned up. I believe that it's not a trivial issue. It's really bad, the intersection of Octok and Robinson Road. And it's also very bad at Courthouse and Octok. I can only conclude that this is where people slow down to take a turn, and that's where they throw out their trash. There's some sections of the road that stay clean because of residences that border the road. They clean up themselves, and there's some subdivisions out there that people are responsible enough to clean up in front of their developments. But there's a lot of people that come up that road and cut through, as you probably all know, when they come to a ball game. And it's just unsightly. It looks like a third world country out there in some of these sections. So it's an aesthetic issue, and it just doesn't leave a good impression for our county to people coming up from South Mississippi that come through there. Y'all are the smart people in the room that know the solution of this problem. If it's a COVID problem, I have not come in here because I figured that it, that might be slowing things down as it has a lot of things. But I see other municipalities and counties picking up their roads. So I would appreciate a solution to the problem, especially on Octok. And I'd like to have a contact person to, get back with me on trying to get some solutions to it.
Well, Ms. Patterson, what we do is we have our trustees that go around and they pick the trash up. And so we rotate District 1, 2, And so when it's my turn, when it's whoever's district's turn, we instruct those trustees to work certain areas. So you're going to be, I believe, in Supervisor Williams' area. He will be your point of contact.
Yeah, you can call me and I'll walk it through. And Mr. Baggett will help me, I'm sure, to get that taken care of. It has been a problem in the past with having enough labor because of COVID-19. But now I think we're off and moving. And I'll walk that through, get that taken care of.
Any idea of when it might happen?
That might be more of a Mr. Baggett question, but we don't really know. I don't believe.
Right now, based on location, it's gonna be redocumented. Because what we do, we go to each area, and we try to stay in each area for a week. But if we get a call, and someone has thrown a house full of fragile, someone's got a bunch of lambs, a mattress out, and we have a deer to die, then that pulls us away from that, because we take care of those immediately. And we did miss some time as a result of not being able to transport inmates to assist us in picking up that
agree on the road.
But it'll be coming. It's just we have to rotate. So where you're wanting to see Octok, and I understand that. There are people on Maven Sturgis, there's people on New Light, Old 12, Artesia Road, Old West Point, Morgantown, Sun Creek. So I mean, it's just different areas, and so not next week, but it seems it'll be the next week. That'll be the week that they'll be in Supervisor Williams' area, and I think
Could
I
you,
think we can get that.
could you say again, what are the, bad spots? I think you mentioned Octop and Robinson, and what another location?
East Courthouse and Octopi.
Courthouse and Octok and Robinson.
Okay, and Octop and Robinson. Those are kind of like the, but we wanna do the whole road, but, I noticed that you mentioned 2 bad spots.
Yeah, those are two bad
Yeah.
spots.
I'm sure as the traffic filters out after a ball game, that's something to look for, is that I'm sure there's a overabundance of people that are sitting still, or, I mean, not maybe quite as much this year as in the past, but still, people are leaving, people are coming in, they may not be from here, so.
Well, I mean, I realized Crawford in that area, I saw a news article on WC about a year ago about it. They're classified as food desert. And a lot of food desert,
got you.
there's no grocery stores or restaurants in that area, and I'm sure a lot of people, you know, they just grab something to bite here and to eat here in Starkville, and they're on their way home, so. Short of trying to stop people from littering, I would appreciate Mr. Baggett, seeing a crew out there in a couple of weeks, and I really would appreciate it. And, thank y'all for your service.
Right.
And, I'll be checking back in with you, Mr. Williams.
Thank you, Ms. Patterson. All right.
Thank you.
All right. Moving right along to the BCB Health Insurance Renewal, Ms. Junot. Good evening.
Good evening.
How are you?
I'm doing good. Can't believe it's been a year. And actually, it's been 2 years since I've been here because I was sick last year.
I remember that.
I was sick with bronchitis. Okay, if you will pull out your packets. Okay, we'll go over the Blue Cross and Blue Shield first and the reinsurance. Well, if you will see on the first page that's highlighted, it's divided by hospital, physician, pharmacy, and allied, and it's broken down into each group, create a program. And if you'll come across on the hospital, you see that the total charges for hospital were like $2.5 million. But we only look at the discount there, 683, 137. That's a huge discount. Well, if you just come down all the way to the bottom, and so your total charges were $3,413,847.61. And it's less than a third that you paid, $1,185,431.62. Thus far, you've gotten right over $16,000 worth of reimbursements, but they have $54,704 pending to pay, and then they have $147,617 in reserves. Now, this year, you have three people have hit reinsurance this year. And you've not had that happen in a while. But your total claims liability is $1,185,000 and some change. And then you subtract out your pharmacy rebates of $64,742.86, and then you subtract out all your reimbursements. And the reason I didn't put the total reimbursements because right at $55,000 is pending to pay. And on the next page, it's broken down by group, by year. So if you look at 2019, the active employees was 2,307,999.36, and the payments were 943,505.68. And the 137, you've had $30,000 in charges, and they paid out $9,700. And on the retiree, it was $1,107,536.69, and they paid out $232,183.45. So, and this just goes back to every year I just keep adding on what happened that year. So this year you had 3 people who met the specific, excludes the laser. You remember you had a laser person. And so today I reiterate there that it's $16,000 worth of reimbursements and $55,000 ready to pay. And on the next page, you will see the 3 claimants and the amounts that's been paid and the reserves. See the names? On the next page? On that, turn over. Yeah, on that page. You see your 3 claimants there that hit specific. And on the last page, it shows the reimbursement for the pharmacy, of which was $64,742.86.
So look, Ms. Judah,
Yes.
so help me figure out, so we had these 3 members
Uh-huh.
that met the reimbursement,
Yes.
meaning,
Meaning they went above the $75,000 specific.
so we capture all that after 75.
No, you pay up to 75 and then the reinsurance kicks in.
Okay, I was gonna say, okay, so that where the reinsurance helps us out, okay.
Right.
Cause I saw those fees right there, and that's what I asked you. All right.
So I brought in 2 proposals, one with Liberty where you are, and one with Unity. And you remember my friend Jules, who would come with me to the meetings? Well, he actually changed companies, and he went to Unity. I got a proposal from him as well. He came in as far as rates, right the same as Liberty is, except on one of your members, Liberty is this. And let me go ahead and tell you with Liberty, no increase. They're holding rates. And let me tell you how important that is. I put this out for quote, and Blue Cross recognizes 2 reinsurance companies as their main reinsurance companies. One is Liberty and one is Beacon. Beacon wouldn't even quote it because of the claims. So for Liberty to hold the rates, that's a big deal. That's really a big deal. I think y'all have only had 1 increase since Liberty's been in here, and you've had 1 decrease.
Is that because of the 3 that topped out from the
Well,
previous
you got,
year?
on this year, you got, no increase.
Okay. I'm just
So-
saying that, anyway, move on.
No answer, I'll answer your question.
No, I was just saying, that
Oh, why,
the
the other company
others may
wouldn't?
have,
That's
because
right.
of the 3
They would
members.
not quote it because of those 3.
I got you.
And Beacon's a fine company.
Yeah.
But this one, and I'm to be fair to Jules, they came in right at the rates, but I was reading over the last page, Jules kept telling me, oh, it's same rates, except they put a $350,000 laser on one of the claimants that met the specific this year. Right back in the tiny print, I found it. So you don't want to do that. I mean, you don't want, if the insurance if one of them doesn't have a laser and the rates are the same, obviously you don't want the one with the laser.
Yeah.
Any questions about that, about the health insurance?
Anything?
Okay, on the dental, you switched last year, to Delta Dental, and they went up on the rates this year. So I went back to Guardian and got a quote, and I know that there were some issues with Guardian. So what Guardian has done is, it has you can go to any dentist, but they've got preferred dentists, that you can go to. And it pays 80%. What I requested that they do is if your employees go out of network, that it pays them at 90% of the charges. So that it's going to be about even there. And so by switching back to Guardian, right now annually you're paying $89,500 for your dental annually, and with Guardian it is, oh, and I gotta tell you something else. With Guardian it would be $86,000. Also with Guardian, it's a 2-year rate guarantee. They will not raise the rates. They may not in 3 years and after 2 years, but they give you a 2-year rate guarantee, and that's pretty good. I rarely see that. Any questions about any of this?
And so the coverage is just as good or better than the current coverage?
It matches it perfectly.
Okay.
Yeah, it matches, except that they'll pay 90% out of network. And in the beginning, and I don't know if it's happening now, but Delta Dental was having some problems with I know the oral surgeons got out of the network in Starkville. There were 2 or 3 in Starkville that said, I'm not dealing with them. So, I mean, you got Martin and I don't know who else, but they got out. And some dentists were having problems getting paid from them.
So the difference with Guardian and Delta is that they will pay 90%?
Well, they'll pay 80% in network,
Right.
and they'll pay 90% out of network. Now, here's how that works.
They'll give you a 2-year
2-year
guarantee.
rate.
Okay.
And you've been with Delta Dental, and they've already gone up on the rates in a year, and they've not even had a full year yet.
Well, that's common. They always give you good rates to keep you to make up a problem.
Well, Liberty's been really good.
Yeah.
I mean, you've had some really, really tough years.
So it's a better deal outside the network. I mean, honestly, it's
Well,
just as good.
how
But
how that's calculated, John, is that with the preferred, they already know the dentist and they already know what they're going to, they've already given a discount in network.
Okay.
So, and the ones out of network haven't given a discount, but they're gonna pay 90% of the bill charges.
So it's going.
Yeah, that means that.
Right. Because that was an issue before.
If you've got a dentist that is not under contract with them for a specific amount, then they can charge you more. And what Guardians agreed to do is pay up to 90% of what they do charge.
Okay.
Let me ask you this. If I'm a dentist then, and I said, well, those dentists that's not in network gonna be able to charge more, and they're gonna get paid because Guardian will pay that extra 10%. So what is it to stop me as a dentist from getting out of the network then, so I can up my charges?
Well, they're gonna give 10% of the bill charges. But the employee is actually gonna pay less. See, because the discounts are so steep with them, that they're actually gonna pay less.
Yes,
Those dentists are locked into what they can charge, where out-of-network dentist is not.
I know.
And there's only a couple of dentists in Starkville that is in Guardian network, and I think that's the reason.
I thought that we had almost every dentist with Guardian in the network here.
When
You want me to get I'll print out.
Yeah, we were looking last year when we changed to, Delta, and we went to look and see what dentists were in their network, there were, no, but 1 or 2.
I will send you an update on that tomorrow. I will.
Okay, good deal.
Any other questions?
Yes, because I don't see it in here, but is there a limit in terms of how much care, dental care, that a person could receive per year?
$1,500.
1,500,
Right.
and that's total regardless to whether,
Right, that's total.
I think, from the way it looked last year, it was 1,500, but we got our cleanings free
I
above
thought that
that.
was free.
That doesn't go towards.
You do get it free.
Yeah, but that's not
So many
included in the
times, yeah.
1,500.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, no, I think it's the price is included in the 1,500, and I'm pretty sure I'm correct on this, but the billing is included in the 1,500, but the member gets it, they pay nothing. It's free to the member, but the charges will actually go against the 1,500.
Okay.
And I'll verify that for you.
And correct me if I'm wrong, because my brother-in-law's a dentist, and one of the things that he told me that if you've got a client that has the insurance, that their limit is 1,500, sometimes what they will do is schedule that procedure at the end of the year, and then they will go into the following year to finish the procedure. Is that
That's
fair?
correct. That's correct. Blue Cross, this is aging me. I've been in this for 40 years. But Blue Cross used to do this thing that if you had not met your deductible by October, and if you had not met it by October, then October, November, and December, what you spend went forward to meet your deductible for the next year. It was a pretty neat thing they had then. Insurance has changed on us. Any other questions about this?
Anything from anyone else for Ms. Juno? If not, we thank you for coming.
Thank you very
Yes,
much.
ma'am. Good homework there.
I'll get you tomorrow.
Okay.
All right, moving right along, Chancery Clerk business, Ms. Livingston.
Yeah, I have one thing, and I just need to get a board order for the application for certification with Tri-State Consulting for the tax assessor's office so that to expend their $1 million.
Motion by Supervisor Trainer, second by Supervisor Williams, that we get a Tri-State to look at our mapping. That was a board order to get them to look at our mapping. Any more discussion on the matter? If not, all those in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Thank you, Ms. Livingston. County business, Ms. Gary.
Motion for approval?
Got a motion by Supervisor Williams, second by Supervisor Trainer. All right. Any more discussion on the matter? If not, all those in favor say aye. Motion carries unanimous.
The final equalized budget report for fiscal year 2020. I need to get a board order acknowledging that has been completed and turned into the Chancery Clerk.
You've heard the request from our county administrator. I need a motion in a second. Motion by Supervisor Howard, second by Supervisor Trainer. Any more discussion on the matter? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Thank you, Miss Emily. I know a lot of work goes into that.
Interfund transfer, there's a water tower project fund. I'm gonna be transferring out of the industrial park fund $645,603 and putting it over into the ARC EDA bond fund, our project fund.
So we need to make
the local match.
Yeah, the first payment on that. All right. Supervisor Williams make the motion, second by Supervisor Howard. Any more discussion on that? If not, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
I have a two budget amendments. One is for $100 donation from Unity Park, and the other one is to sell a capital asset to the volunteer fire department that I need to get on order to make these budget amendments.
All right.
So moved.
Motion by Supervisor Howard, second by Supervisor Trainer. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Issuing invoice for the work they're doing for the courthouse road project. I got an invoice for $33,448.26. They get an order to pay it.
Motion by Supervisor Trainer, second by Supervisor Miller, to pay Pickering for the slide out there, by the jail. All those in favor say aye.
Now, this is.
Courthouse, so sorry.
When will they involve? I see it on the last page, it said they will get public involvement. Can you get some more information about how they're gonna move forward with getting public involvement on that particular road?
I will.
That's one of the, next steps, one of the next steps on the back.
Okay, I'll check on that. I got a pay request from the Phoenix Fabricators for the amount of $99,000 for the first, pay request on the water tower project.
Yeah, that's,
Need an order to pay, I can pay that.
need a motion and a second. Motion by Supervisor Trainer, second by Supervisor Howard, to pay, Phoenix Fabricators $99,000 for the water tower. All right.
And also got one from.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
From, Gutter Triangle Planning and Development District for $10,000 for the water tower project. Need to order it to pay them.
Need a motion and a second on that? Motion by Supervisor Trainer, second by Supervisor Williams. All those in favor say aye. Aye. That's one more.
Got one from Neil Schaefer in the amount of $3,139.42 for the water tower project. They need to order to pay them.
Okay. Motion by Supervisor Howard, second by Supervisor Williams, pay Neil Schaefer. All those in favor say aye.
Okay. Mr. Pritchard asked that I get, permission to advertise for slurry sale for Sellers Road and Blue Road, to go ahead and get the advertisements and get the prices to probably tie it in for the spring.
So moved.
Motion by Supervisor Howard, second by Supervisor Williams, to advertise slurry seal for Sellers Road and Blue Road. All those in favor say aye. Motion carries unanimous.
Bid results for the road equipment, I'm giving y'all copies of those, and we just got that today. Also have sent the specifications to what the bids consisted of to Mr. Baggett, and I don't know whether he's ready to,
Can we just review that and go over it next meeting?
yes, we can. Yes,
Since we got all that stuff today.
Yes, we
Yeah.
can. And also, I did talk back with, Mr. Blaylock, because the bids did not mention anything about the warranty
Gotcha.
on the tractors, and I did get that information that I will forward to on the drive. They all, it does have warranty. So we'll.
So we need some
Yeah,
more.
and some of the ones that had the lower bid, I believe you were talking about these bids that just gave up.
Yes.
Some had a low bid, but they didn't have a buyback on them.
Now, this one has about that.
Did Occidental County, co-op?
Probably not.
County co-op, I don't believe they had a buyback.
No.
No, I doubt they have.
They had one of the lowest bids, I believe. Yeah, they
We
had a low
have,
bid
in
on
the
that.
past, we have never
Yeah.
dealt with a buyback on tractors.
Well, some of the trucks.
Yeah. Okay. I got, in your packet also is the first quarter allocation for the church, the jail, and the tax collector's office.
All right.
Need an order for that.
Need to acknowledge that. Sorry. Motion by Supervisor Williams, second by Supervisor Howard. Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Got a request for a school bus turnaround at Larry Ingram at 483 Sand Creek Road.
Need a motion and a second. Motion by Supervisor Trainer, second by Supervisor Williams, do a bus turnaround at 483 Sand Creek Road. Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye. Motion carries.
Utility request from Atmos Energy for Lincoln, Post Oak and Wood Lake. There's an order for all that.
Motion and a second on that?
Motion.
All right, motion by Supervisor, Miller, second by Supervisor Williams. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Got a right-of-way utility request for Bell South on our west road.
All good with that? All right, motion by Supervisor Trainer, second by Supervisor Williams. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
I got one more thing that came in today. I got a request for a 911 road name of Ashbrook Lane. It is for, subdivision that is going to be started out off of, Top Road and Chapel Hill Road.
Ashbrook.
Ashbrook Lane.
Okay.
Motion for approval.
All right, motion by Supervisor Williams, second by Supervisor Howard. Any more discussion on that? All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Thanks so much. All right. County business supervisors. We'll go around the room. Right now, we don't have anything on the mask or the curfew. So what are the thoughts on that?
Motion we extend it for 2 more weeks.
So we got a motion by Supervisor Trainer to extend it until.
Due to the fact that the numbers are starting to rise again.
Okay.
That's on the mask. We talking about curfew. Which one?
Both.
Mask and curfew. Okay, so the curfew is from 12 to 4, the same as we've been doing. Mask, same as well. Motion by Supervisor Trainer, second by Supervisor Howard. Any more discussion on that?
What's this, curfew?
Well, we can separate them if y'all want to. Why don't we do that? We'll make this the curfew. Got a motion by Supervisor Trainer, second by Supervisor Howard on the curfew. Any discussion on the curfew? All those in favor to do the curfew now until, I guess that would be the 2nd of November?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
2nd of November. All those in favor say aye on the curfew.
Who was the second?
That was Trainer and Howard. Unanimous. So now, speaking on behalf of the masks, we've got, you want to continue that? You want to make a motion again? Motion by Supervisor Trainer, second by Supervisor Howard. Discussion on this matter. I'm going to still say a nay, simply for the fact that, you know, the governor has taken down the mask requirement. You've got some communities, some counties that are in it, and some are no masks. You know, I understand I'm seeing the numbers go up as well, Supervisor Howard. So that's just my reasoning behind it. Any other discussion from any other board member? If not, all those in favor say aye. Aye. 3 yea. Any opposed? Motion carries 3-2. So we'll do that also until the 2nd of November. County business from supervisors. I'll start with you, Supervisor Howard. Do you have anything in your district to discuss?
Just an observation, that, I don't know if it's the board's wishes that our road crew deliver garbage cans for us. I would prefer to deliver my own garbage can. I just don't think it's productive to pull our road crews off of building roads and working on roads and drainage and to go deliver garbage cans. We are all furnished vehicles and free fuel. I just feel like we should at least be able to deliver garbage cans. So I'm just gonna request, Mr. Baggett and Ms. Garrett, if there's a request come for a garbage can in my district, to call me and not call the road department to go and deliver the garbage can for me.
Yes, sir.
Anything else, Supervisor Howard?
That's it.
Supervisor Williams.
Well, yes, when you were talking about Longview Road, there is a water line crossing Longview. And we have all intentions of putting that line in a casing, digging it up and putting it in a casing. There, so, that is gonna happen in the near future.
I got you.
But the other lines are out far enough that, we don't believe that there'll be,
Problem.
damage.
Well, the one that goes across it, is it gonna be deep enough to stay out, you think, of the way of the construction?
We had to put it 4 feet below the ditch.
Okay.
So it's gonna be,
It's gonna be down in
it's
there.
gonna be down there.
But you're gonna case it where it goes under the road, that way if something breaks.
Yeah,
you
if
can
some
just
breaks,
replace it.
just pull the line out and repair it and push it back in there.
I got you.
Yeah. So it's not in a casing now, but
But I mean, that'll be a good time to do it too.
it's a
while
good
it's
time to
running.
do it, is put it in a casing now. And we'll need some help from the road department to, do the backfill on that.
Sure. Okay. Anything else?
On that.
Supervisor Trainer?
Not a thing.
Supervisor Miller?
Yes, a couple things. When we talk about the fences on Longview Road,
Yes. Well, I think we've got those.
we're settled on
I
that?
think we're good. In fact, I went by there Saturday afternoon, there was a gentleman and his son, we got the new fence up and he was taking the last T-post out. I stopped and helped him take the last 20 T-posts out.
Alright.
So,
And then we need to talk about the, interlocal agreement on the bridge in the city limits. That's, what's the name?
It's in Pleasant.
It's in Pleasant Acres.
Pleasant Acres.
And then also the creek clean out. Yes.
The creek, I'll go with the creek clean out first. There was a bill, when we were doing the interlocal, there was an estimate of a bill. And when we had first talked about this, we were not under the impression that they were asking us to pay anything at that point.
Correct.
So I basically told them that I would bring it before the board, let y'all know that approximately how much this was gonna be.
And how much was it
excess of
approximately gonna be?
It was excess of $30,000, it's right under 40. I told them I didn't feel comfortable telling them that there was gonna be any way we could move forward with this because of the expense that's involved here. However, that's not my decision, but I was gonna ask y'all, would you have?
Yeah, that wasn't.
And so, well, even in this email, it talks about funds
So
for.
it's 30,000 and we don't have,
It doesn't say.
we don't have to pay as a city.
The city is wanting us to pay that.
Well, that wasn't the agreement, and I'll get with, and we can all get with other representatives from the city, and I'll do that.
Okay.
Do like they do us, tell them go ahead and do it, don't they don't know the thing.
That was,
Tell them go ahead and do it.
we're giving them the right, I thought,
Tell
to
them
do
we're
it.
gonna pay.
Yeah, I got some projects, they pay for them.
I know.
Tell them go ahead and do it, we'll pay for you.
Yeah, so we'll get back.
Yes, sir.
We'll put that in the 90-day
You just don't
column.
need to put a board on it.
I mean, yeah, got a board up there.
I can't do that, so please don't.
We better stay away.
So we need to take no action
We
on
better
this?
stay away from
I would
that.
suggest taking no action on this. I will tell them that we are still, on board with them. If they want to do this, then let them go ahead and do it if they want. However, there's not any budget money to actually reimburse.
And that one caveat, providing that the county is not held responsible in case
Yes,
there's
sir.
some things done in doing this project.
Yes, sir. One of the things that I didn't know until this project, and this is just something that, and I'm glad you brought that up. Once you take on the responsibility of one of these creek beds,
It's yours.
it's yours from that point forward. So for generic ways, I guess, for us to hear this, we need to be aware that once we move forward with this, it's our baby after that.
And the word needs to be maintenance always. That needs to be the word
Never.
that's used, not clean out, not anything.
Dredging.
We need to
Dredging,
maintenance. But we do need to go ahead and talk about, in Pleasant Acres, the bridge that we have, in LSBP. Apparently there's some confusion on that. We need to talk about that, 'cause that bridge, we do need to get that fixed. That's on our list, our LSBP list.
Which would free up the,
And-
well, it would, anyway, so it's one.
But it was one that we did last year. but we just have not gotten to it. I mean, this has been out there since last year.
Yeah,
So the city's wanting to go ahead and get this fixed
before the winter.
before the winter gets here. And so we need to do whatever we need to do, and wasn't there LSVP money allocated for it or something?
I thought that was one that Clyde, is this the one where the designing of the
Yeah.
project? And the city was gonna be the one to take care of that? That was supposed to be a city responsibility.
I thought so too.
That wasn't, hold on, let me go back to
You're
the
right.
my
Yeah,
emails on
that-
that.
that's
That wasn't
what I'm
exactly
saying.
right.
That is the project that Clyde thought that we could do for
Right.
50,000 and free up LSVP money. But the city did not want to do that, and then,
Correct.
however, it came back, even if it
Yeah,
would
but we
not.
were gonna allocate that amount.
Money for other things.
But see, we were gonna put a
So we're
double,
gonna allocate just that amount, remember?
we were gonna put like a double culvert, they wanted to put a box in
They
there.
didn't agree with the way we were gonna fix it.
Right, they wanted a bigger
They wanted to
thing.
fix it their way. is what-
That is correct.
Yeah.
And as I stated earlier, that whether we no longer, LSPP money is no longer, can be used for other things as we thought for before. Because of so many bridges that's
They're
got
down, they're
problems.
locking it into that column, or into that line item.
We could use it on roads, but we can't.
Just scroll down, there's the email and all.
Well,
So if it comes, when it comes down to now, if it remove
It
it
actually
on the
is our bridge.
LSPP or what?
Each year there's a bridge inspection, and they rate the bridges as the most important that needs to be taken care of.
but I do remember hearing,
It
we were
was
gonna,
already on the list.
yeah, it's on the list.
Each year they.
But I
they
thought
analyze
Clyde
it.
did tell us that the city was gonna do this, because we weren't gonna put it in to the standard they wanted. Cause I
We
think.
were gonna,
That's right.
my understanding was we were gonna allocate so much, and then they were gonna put the rest to make it the way they wanted it to go.
Right,
And so we haven't allocated any money to it. That was the August email that I'm looking at.
she is right, we were gonna put it in,
They just told us to leave it alone. They'll do it the way they want to do
but
it.
they want us to put in what we were
That's-
gonna
That
do.
wasn't what was decided. I thought I remembered that I thought that whatever we were gonna spend, whatever that number was, now I don't know what number that was, but whatever we were gonna spend, we would allocate that to the project. And whatever they wanted to do over and above that was on them. Now, that being said, I don't remember.
Yeah, we could allocate,
You find-
yeah, we could allocate the LSVP money,
And
that come from another source.
That may have been that may have been why this kind of went sidetracked, so I can't remember exactly what we did last year.
What needs to,
Okay, so what they wanted to do is that the design for the 100-year standard instead of 25, they want to do it for the 100-year standard instead of the 25-year standard. And so it is still our bridge, and it was on that list that we were supposed to get done last year, whenever, it was on last year's list.
can we locate the board order on that, and then I think that will clear this up in terms of our obligations.
I don't think we were out. Well, we're still obligated because it's our bridge.
But financially.
We're still
what
obligated,
type
it's
of
our bridge.
financial obligation that we make in relation, in the boardroom?
Well, here's the thing, if we decide, we're still obligated to fix it. It's the county's bridge. They wanted us to fix it to a 100-year standard, and we did not want to do that. We wanted to fix it to a 25-year standard, is what, the county engineer recommended. And so they said, well, allocate whatever you've got, and we're gonna do it to the higher standard for 100 years.
It's best that we find the board order and, come back and act on that once we get some type of, information about what we did agree on.
And I would like for our engineer to come and speak with us about this year's bridge inspection report, to see what bridges they have actually classified as the most important, because that's sort of how we allocate the money.
What about your bridge on is it Camp Seminole Road? I get asked about that all the time.
What about
When's it gonna be open?
I couldn't tell you.
I've asked Pat about that same thing.
I get asked about that at least twice a month.
I get asked about it all the time myself.
And I can't remember what he told me the last time.
Yeah, the contractor, yeah, they've been down there working, I was down there last week, they've been down there working on it, so.
I think one of them they have completed and still got
Yeah.
something on the side.
It was actually 2 bridges,
Yeah.
back to back, that's why it's taking a little longer. They've completed 1 bridge, they're now working on the 2nd bridge, so.
I got one underway right now on Longview Edenton, so 2 to 3 more.
And when we gonna replace Old Baylor Bridge on Harris Road? That shakes
Go down
and
to
rattle.
Watertown.
That shakes and rattle when we cross it, I think they are minimal important. And all of them are important, but I think this one is very serious, and then the school bus go across it. The Old Baylor Bridge doesn't even have side rails on it.
Well, yeah.
And another thing about those Sun Creek bridges, and listen, I want the bridges open, but those bridges serve 95% of Clay County residents.
They come in through.
They come
this
through. I know, we got a few people go that way, but 95% of the traffic comes out of Clay County, coming. And it is a bad inconvenience, but, you know, they completed one and they're working on the second one.
I mean, the bridges are fine when they can get them there. It's that road that'll beat you to go.
Yeah.
Well, can we do this to what Supervisor Miller is bringing before us, before we get too far off into the bushes here, is, do we need to have maybe Clyde, Supervisor Miller, come to our next board meeting and freshen us up on this
Can you just
topic?
get it sorted out before the next board meeting?
Yeah, that'd be good.
I mean, he can work with both of them. I can send all these emails.
And that'll be the first thing, let's put that on the agenda and have him come and speak to us and freshen us up on it. I remember this topic, and I do believe you're right, Supervisor Miller, but I think others on the board want to maybe have him come here. Let's freshen it up. By then, you know, and get it rolling. You know, whatever board order we need to pass to get it moving between us, the city.
Okay, on June the 19th, we said the bridge was now had been posted by state aid at 5 tons. And so this makes it where the garbage trucks, fire trucks, or the school buses can't go across it. So that's the reason we were gonna go ahead and move forward with it. And the email was to all of us on July the 1st, and it says, supervisors, would it be possible, for the bridge repairs to do a stipulation designed 100-year standard instead of a 25-year? Can we move forward quickly and meet all of our needs? So that's what they were asking, if we could do a different standard of a bridge. And they were gonna pay the difference, was my understanding.
Right, we were gonna put in, if I'm thinking correct, the 25-year flood would be 2 large culverts, basically. They're wanting a concrete box to withstand the 100. If that's the way I remember it.
Yeah.
As far as who's paying what, I do believe we were gonna say, okay, well, we're gonna pay 50 or 60, whatever it was. Then they were gonna pay the extra, which is
they were gonna put in
a
money
substantial
to it.
amount more because of box culverts. A
I
substantial
think
amount more.
it'd be good just to get.
But just get Clyde over here, let him explain to us
We don't know
what.
what he's allocated for LSVP funds.
That's right. So is that okay, Supervisor Miller? We can wait on the 2nd, and that way, a couple more weeks. I don't know, it's a couple
Yeah, it's
more
fine,
weeks.
I'll just forward y'all the email from Harry Lee right here too. That was on, this letter that was in this email. It said we had to move forward quickly.
Well, I'm ready to move forward on it, to say what we would have put on there,
I know
but,
what we're gonna.
I'm but one.
Whatever they've been doing up to this point.
You wanna make a motion, Supervisor Miller? We can certainly see how it turns out, or we can wait on next meeting.
Huh?
You wanna wait until the next meeting?
Yeah,
Okay.
and we'll.
Alright, and from the chair, the only thing I have is that Longview Road, and Supervisor Howard kinda mentioned about some bridges that he's got in Sun Creek. I've got one on Longview Edenton Road. Talked with Clyde this morning. It's gonna be between 2 and 3 more weeks before that bridge is open. Bit of an inconvenience for people going through there, but you know, is something that was needed. So a bridge is one of those things, they're going as fast as they can go, and we can't make the contractor go any quicker.
So right now, we got 3 bridges, well, 2 under construction and 1 closed. I know mine's closed, but it's not.
Yeah, mine's closed, under construction.
Yours under construction.
Yeah.
Theirs is that emergency repair funding through the LSP.
Right.
Mine was from the emergency, from the governor's office, well, the legislative body.
Mr. Montgomery?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you remember about my work session?
Yes, a work session. We need to do a work session on a couple of things. Just, let's see if I can rehash them here. It was, several things. One, retain to, we collect taxes, the city's taxes. And we need to kind of rehash,
revisit
the, you know, the payment thereof. I think it's been 2004, you said. This the last time that was kind of updated. So that's one topic without getting into it. This other one was,
911 after hours and.
yes, the 911 after hours, kind of the call that we take for, emergency, water breaks, different things like that through our call center.
Yeah, 311 service. And the other thing is the hauling permits.
Yes, and heavy haul permit. So I know that would be something pretty much impossible to do during a normal board meeting. Kind of leaving it up to you guys over maybe the next couple of weeks before we get to our next meeting, that we could maybe have a work session on all of the above.
I don't know if it was stretched out too long to rock. I saw in the paper, was it one Sunday's paper where a gal was attacked by dogs in Mason? So I don't know if we want to add that vicious dog.
Yeah, that's a good one there.
You know, since here lately it seems that.
Well, we had said in the past that we want to give it a little more strength, you know what I mean, for the law enforcement to be able to act before they have to react, you know, and I think the way it's set up now, I think it's a reactive, policy. It was put in years ago, you know, it's a good policy, you know, it was a step in the right direction, but we need to tweak it maybe a little bit, and that's a good one. Supervisor Howard, while we're doing a work session, by all means, something like that, that's a good one to.
I've got an example, I'm not suggesting this is what you're going to use or not use, but, and I can't take credit for it. Officer Watson has, been working on this, and I'll send you what he sent me.
All right, so, you wanna just maybe call the board, or, hey, I mean, I'm available now more than I have in the past, so. I can be here, I can be more flexible, I'd say, than the next person, so. Yeah, you wanna just, Miss Emily, do you wanna ask maybe our different board members when will be a good time for them? I mean, I can do it next Monday, we could do it sometime later this week, whenever. You know, I know there's schedule conflicts and things of that nature.
Okay. Y'all just let me know what would be good for y'all and what.
Anytime this week be good for anyone, maybe even like Wednesday or Thursday?
I'm good, I'm very flexible.
Are y'all good to go ahead and have that garbage, we'll bring that to that meeting.
Yeah, we can bring that to the meeting.
Say on that. Okay.
You think we wanna try to do it this week? Supervisor Miller? I don't know how
I can't do it this week.
can't do it this week. Let's do it next week. You wanna say, and, what would be a better time next week than tonight?
Oh, I'm good anytime.
Anytime after Tuesday, I've got Medicaid hearings.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday next week.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday next week.
All right, that's your choices.
So don't they, when do y'all have garbage hearing, garbage maybe?
We have Thursday one, we've got one this Thursday, so we'll be free after that.
Okay, next week, what time?
Next week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, let's kinda hammer them, we'll ask.
Let's not do it Friday.
Huh?
Let's not do it Friday.
Let's do it next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday.
The 28th?
Yeah, what
Okay.
time?
Let's do 4 o'clock, so when we get done, we go home.
Let's do it.
I say we better do it at 3.
3 o'clock, we'll do it.
Okay.
I'd rather do it in the morning time, to be honest now.
All right, let's do it in the morning
When we
time.
start talking about this stuff, it can stretch on over into 8, 9 o'clock.
You want 8 or 9?
We could do it 9 o'clock that morning. I'd rather do it in the morning.
9 o'clock.
9 o'clock next Wednesday? Just send something to us, Miss Emily, cause those kind of meetings right there have caught me. Anyway.
That's good.
We got so many
idea.
talk-
I was on a tractor and she was calling my phone. I said, wait, uh-oh.
Okay.
So Wednesday at 9 o'clock, we'll do a work session. All right, guys, so I need a motion and a second to adjourn. Until then, motion by Supervisor Trainer, second by Supervisor Howard. All those in favor say aye. Aye. See y'all next